south of the Philippines lies a land of such wealth. It continues to display its wonders and yield riches millions of years after it was formed. A place gifted with mineral-rich earth, abundant forest, and natural formations of astonishing beauty. In this adventure, I discovered ancient heritage, culture, and wonders of Bhutuan and the Caraga region. Caraga is found in the northeastern region of Mindanao. The area is rich in natural resources. One of its cities, Bhutuan, is also the site of an ancient culture, a thriving naval society before the Philippines came under Spanish rule. My discovery of the Caraga region begins here in Cebu. My friend Jun and I have been here for some engagements, but unfortunately, he had to go back to work. But since work meant flying for an hour to the coast of Agusan del Norte, he invited me to fly with him on board their Bell 407.
If you want, sir, you can have the left seat and you can fly with me.
I will not scare you.
No.
I'm ready then.
Okay, let's go.
Loud and clear.
From Mactan, we went southeast, passing over the northern tip of Bohol, making our way to Surigao. We passed over Lake Mainit, the deepest lake in the country.
This is one of the largest inland lake in the country, and it flows all the way to the Caraga region.
Then, tracing the coast down towards our destination. Finally, we land in Tubay, just at the coast of Tinuan Bay. Mike, an old schoolmate, welcomes
Look
us.
who's here.
Hi, buddy.
Hi. Thanks for giving us a warm welcome.
Okay.
June tells me that this place was logged over in the 1970s before they obtained the land. This led to the discovery of rich iron and nickel deposits, probably the biggest in the world.
We mine nickel over here and we ship it to our clients overseas.
And have it processed elsewhere?
Yes.
Okay. I see. So you're actually an exporter.
Yes.
Well, everybody dislikes mining. You know, they think it destroys the whole balance of everything.
Mining nowadays is a little bit different from what it was in the olden times.
Yes.
Everybody's more responsible about the environment now. You only open up areas that you have to mine and then you rehabilitate it before moving on to the next area. We're one of only 3 ISO 14001 mines in the Philippines, which means our environmental management system is world-class.
Caraga is abundant in minerals and precious metals that even in ancient times, gold has been panned and fashioned into ornaments. When the Spaniards came, their chronicles mention that pieces of gold the size of walnuts and eggs were found just by shifting the earth. Today, the soil continues to yield minerals that are important in the production of modern-day equipment like computers, cell phones, and cars. Residents from the nearby areas have found employment working in this site.
So ilang oras ka nagmamaneho in a day? 8 hours in a day. Wow, hirap nito ah.
Protecting nearby bodies of water is also important, so siltation ponds are made to prevent silt from running into the water. Mike and June tell me that the challenge is trying to rehabilitate the land.
Planting for over 6 years.
Yeah, little by little.
Like this size would be how
These
big?
are about 2-3-year-old trees.
Well, they grow fast, huh?
Yeah, depending on the soil and the fertility, it is very expensive to plant here because our soil is so nutrient deficient. So we have to fertilize and we have to water during the dry season.
So these are coconuts then, huh?
Yes, coconut husks. This is a waste material, and they shred the coconut husks and they weave it.
Replanting trees is key in helping the land recover. It was good to know that a strict rehabilitation program is in place.
The water is crystal clear. It's well filtered
Yeah.
by all the trees that we're planting.
Of course, I had to do my share.
Put it in. This will be called the Joyroa Air Safari tree. When your grandchildren come here, it'll be a couple 100 feet tall.
I learned a lot about mining, reforestation, and all the good work that you guys are doing.
Saying goodbye to Jun and Mike, I decided to drop by a friend in nearby Cabadbaran, who is also a strong supporter of planting trees and protecting the environment. Caraga is also known for its wood industry, but over the years, the industry and the land has suffered due to harmful logging practices. I visit Toto and Leonor Calo at their sprawling farm. Toto and Leonor Calo are hoping to help educate people about caring for nature, planting more trees, and taking care of animals. I had always enjoyed riding horses even as a young boy, so this place is a real treat. Toto invites me for a ride down their trail called Sanghan Outback. Although small in stature, our horses were strong and sturdy. The ride takes you under a canopy of woodland trees and across the crop plantations. In the distance, I could hear water flowing. Lo and behold, the trail leads to a small river crossing.
Let's go.
Even through the rough terrain, our horses remain sure-footed. It was a nice, comfortable morning ride across the Sanghan Outback. Aside from horses, the farm has also become a haven for rescued animals, which the family has taken under their care.
Hi, Leonor.
Leonor introduces me to some of them.
This is my baby.
These are your babies. So this is the civet, huh? And what do you call this civet?
Baludo.
Baludo is his name.
With the abundance of plants and trees in the area, Leonor has also started a crafts business using the plant and wood materials available.
Which is the advantage of Agsam?
Very strong.
Last longer.
You try to break this one if you can. The inner part of the vine.
I was a bad guy when I was young. I was a hunter, and I was into logging when I was 22. So I cut all the trees in the mountains. That's why I'm now preaching tree planting. When you plant trees, they pray for you. You know, you give them life. That could be why I'm still active. And
How many trees do you require to be planted?
1,000.
1,000. I'm still so far away, but I'm getting close, Toto. With this, I have another extra one, huh? And this is called the
Philippine ironwood.
Philippine ironwood.
Magkuno.
Magkuno.
The trip to the Calo farm is truly an educational experience giving one a lesson on animal and plant species, local art, and caring for the environment. From Kabadbaran, I decided to stay longer and make my way to the center of the Caraga region, Bhutuan City, where other good friends await. Find out what I discover in this ancient city after the break. I make my way into the center of Caraga region, Bhutuan. Unknown to most, Bhutuan's history goes back to prehistoric times. The locals often say, in the beginning, there was no Philippines, but there was Bhutuan. In my quest to learn more about Bhutuan's history, I visited the National Museum's regional branch here in
Mr.
Bhutuan.
Greg Hontiveros, our renowned local historian.
I know he's quite popular.
Yeah.
He has some books, Greg.
I was lucky to meet and spend the afternoon with local historian Greg Hontiveros, who walked me through Bhutuan's rich heritage.
I hear so many things about Bhutuan history and interesting diggings and discoveries in the past. What really makes Bhutuan special?
A lot of things were found that belong to the pre-colonial era. Chinese ceramics and all other Oriental ceramics were found. Lots of good items and implements for the processing and the manufacturing of ornaments. You have always, and of course, definitely what caught the attention of many was the unearthing of the Balangai boats. As people traveled, and as people interacted, and as people exchanged goods, out of that, I would say that the development of civilizations, development of kingdoms, were brought about by all these exchanges. And credit that to the book.
The story of Bhutuan and the Caraga region cannot be told without referring to its geography. I learned that about 2 million years ago, present-day Bhutuan was entirely covered by sea. The Agusan River from the Diwata mountain range flowed into the Bhutuan Bay, carrying sand, silt, and clay. These formed a delta, which will become Bhutuan today. As nature continued to shift the earth, and as Agusan River continued to flow, it created an estuary. Settlements began to exist along the shorelines of this estuary. Bonbon, which in the local dialect means sandy shore, is one of these early settlements. This is where one of the earliest evidences of human existence can be found. The town of Bonbon.
They say that if you'd like to know how people lived in the past, it would be good to look at their trash. They've tried to date all these shells, and it dated about 7,000 years, which is almost as old as the Egyptian pyramids.
Discovered by the Bekibel family in their property, the Bekibel shell midden is a prehistoric trash can containing piles of discarded shells, deer and pig bones, stone tools, and even human skeletons from the Neolithic era. The midden gives us a picture of our ancestors' way of life. The area was once beside the river, where a rice field now flourishes. With the abundance of wood in the region, our ancestors constructed huge shipping vessels capable of sailing the open sea.
The discovery of the Balangais has given Bhutuan a special place in ancient history.
The boats have been described by Spanish chroniclers, but their physical evidence were only found in the 1970s, while diggings were being done for the city's urban development. The significance of the Balangai boats to Southeast Asian prehistory is the equivalent to the discovery of the Viking boats in Europe. By the 9th century, floods and soil coming from the slopes of Mount Mayapay into the river-buried settlements, including the Balangai boats. I visit the site where the boats were unearthed.
This is actually boat number 4 out of 11 that they have found. They say this one is the biggest, and the wooden pegs is almost as big as a soda can. They have to keep it underwater to protect it from the elements because it's summer season.
Due to tectonic events, Pinamangkulan, a shallow reef platform in the Bhutuan Bay, began to elevate along with Mount Mayapay, the highest peak in Bhutuan. The growth of the delta divided flow of the Agusan River, creating the Masawa River. Pinamangkulan became known as the island of Masawa. This was my next stop. I met with Jimbo and his wife Shayla, who has lived and worked in Manila as flight crew but loved being in Bhutuan so much that they decided to move back to Jimbo's hometown. They volunteered to take me around this place they called home and show me why they are proud of their city. Tracing Bhutuan's naval history, they took me to the Buod, or hill overlooking the city of Bhutuan and Masawa River.
This is Masawa River right here.
Right there. So this is really a community of fishermen or traders.
This hill is where natives and Chinese traders bartered goods. It is also said to be where the first Christian Mass was held in the Philippine soil, and where Magellan and his men erected a cross to signify the event.
This is the first Mass monument, Captain. During the time when Magellan came to the country, they held the first Mass here. It was March 31, 1521.
But from what my understanding was from school is that it was somewhere else.
Actually is an ongoing controversy that the first Mass was held somewhere else. Explorers themselves writing down that the first Mass was actually held in Masawa. Bhutuan was actually immersed in water before.
Easier
Easier for ships to have access.
As soil movement and mud flow from the mountains continued, the water channels closed up and joined the mainland. Hence, the disappearance of the island known as Masawa. This explains why historians had difficulty finding the island of Masawa, described in the Spanish chronicles, and opted to put Limasawa in the history books instead. As a testament to how the land and forces of nature influence people's way of life, I visit the ruins of the Bansa Church. A huge banyan tree called balete has wrapped itself around the tip of the tower of this once beautiful stone church. The first Catholic church built in Mindanao. The church fell into disuse after the town center was moved to the current location due to water rising from the river and flooding the town. Dramatic changes in the geographical outlay of Bhutuan continued over the years into the one we know today. Coming up next, I am taken aback as Caraga continues to unravel its beauty and natural wonders. Surrounded by water and with a heritage of seafaring, Bhutuan is blessed to always have a bountiful catch of fresh seafood. Jimbo and Shayla take me to one of the popular places in the city, Barons. Barons is famous for its freshly caught seafood cooked in local recipes.
This is my friend Jason Galero.
Hi Jason,
He owns the place.
very happy to be here.
Best seafoods in town.
Best seafood. Okay, I'm worried that you might run out of food once we're here. Jason, I heard that it's a car wash during the day. You're only open at 9.
Yeah. building up. We start at 6, then the crowd builds up 6 to 8, then we close around 11 or 12, depends. We don't store anything in the freezer. I don't even have a freezer at home.
That's the secret.
Jimbo and Shayla also take me to some nearby areas that can easily be accessed from Bhutuan. Going south, we went to see the famed Enchanted River in Hinatuan. The river's clear and deep blue waters have sparked many stories of enchantment. Big fish swim in shallow areas, undisturbed by the people swimming in the river. Another body of water drawing crowds is the Tinuan Falls in the town of Bislig in Surigao del Sur. Tinuan is a majestic waterfall with white water curtains flowing in 3 levels. It is the widest waterfall in the country that it is called a small Niagara Falls.
This is Tinuan Falls. In our dialect, Tinuyuan or sadyang puntahan.
Tinuyuan is something that should go to.
Yes.
Okay.
As if these incredibly beautiful places are not enough, Jimbo and Shayla have one more place they want to show me. Only an hour and a half away from Bhutuan, we made our way to San Agustin in Agusan del Sur. Off the Lianga Bay is a group of islets known for their exquisite beauty, the Britannia Group of Islands. A lush mangrove forest surrounds the area, and this is where one of the few hotels, La Entrada Britannia, is located. It is a good jump-off point to get to the islands. Off we went to explore. The different islands are actually islets and sandbars with different degrees of landmass and vegetation. All of them are uninhabited and have very fine white sand surrounded by clear waters, making it ideal for people to lounge around and appreciate the views of the other islands. There is one called the Naked Island, a stretch of sandbar that shrinks as the tide goes up but never vanishes. These are the twin Panlangagan Islands that hold lush forests and secret caves. And my favorite, the Hiyor-Hiyoran Island, with its tall coconut trees welcoming each visitor setting foot on its beautiful beach. Few places in the world can boast of such natural wealth and long history. The discoveries of our glorious past will be pointless if there is no one to value them and learn from them. We must strive to elevate ourselves into the proud people that our ancestors once were. Traveling and learning from exchanges of culture, taking from nature but also giving back, recognizing the delicate balance that governs all. This land was formed by volcanoes, shifted by the earth, and sculpted by water. A land so rich, it continues to yield wealth and show its wondrous beauty millions of years after it was formed. Caring for such a treasure should be everyone's responsibility.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next Asian Air Safari.